Appreciate Michael Alford joining us here on the Osceola Seminole Sidelines. Michael, it's been a busy summer. I know you were out in OKC. We've got activity behind us on the football practice fields as you're doing
hard hats and dust. I love hard hats and dust.
Hard hats and dust. So I guess let's start there with a little bit of the hard hats and dust. There's been a lot of the what's called infrastructure upgrades that need to be done for this football building. Can you kind of give us an update on what's going on there?
Yeah, everything's going as planned. A lot into the technical, and I try to stay out of those meetings where they start talking steel and rhubarb. I try to excuse myself. But we're having to, the unique about our facility when we built the indoor, on the west side is where all the mechanical is. So in order to get started on our building, we're having to right now move all that mechanical to the east side. So building a duplicate building on the east side in between baseball and football indoor to put all the mechanical cooling units. Everything that goes to run that facility is being repurposed on that side. So currently they're building that building, had to run a lot of water lines. One great thing about this building, to get too technical on you, is the water lines. Doak used to have their own water functions, which campus had a different one. So now we're able to tie the loops in together for support of operating Doak, operating the Moore Center, and tying that into the campus water loop. So a lot of that's going on. So a lot of behind the scenes to prepare, but the cranes will be arriving soon, and we're getting better. And that's the great thing about this facility. This is going to allow us to get better. Not only, and I talk about it all the time, not only the football program, what is the impact it's going to have on our other 19 sports is going to be very noticeable when they can have weight room times and training room times, which helps get better class schedules for our student athletes. There's a lot of impact this building's going to have, and our academic support staff's real excited about it when they go in and try to fill some of the class times of our student athletes that have to take certain classes at certain times, and they're only offered at that time. It gets into their workout schedule and gets into practice, and now we're going to have just opportunities to expand those times when they can take these classes, and it's going to have a great benefit on our student athletes. So this building is going to be very impactful across the board.
The football facility, of course, you went before the Board of Trustees, and there was a bond issue that's been approved to move forward, and that might be a formality to some extent, but you feel like things are full speed ahead as far as fundraising, the bond issue, and then eventually you can move into construction.
Yeah, 100%. We've had great support from the president, great support from our Board of Trustees. They understand the need of this facility. They understand the impact it's going to have, like I said, on the entire department, not just that program. And the support they've given us to keep moving forward, and we've hit record fundraising numbers for this facility for a building on this campus. So the impact it's going to have, the support we get, and we're going through the formalities as you mentioned, but it's all the support and those meetings has been allowed us to get to this point, and understanding the need of it and the impact it's going to have on the entire campus.
Fans are excited for football season, obviously coming off a 10-win season, and the teams that Florida State beat, but also the players who are coming back.
Yes.
The excitement from Mike Norvell and the staff. We've seen some ticket sales updates of late that are incredibly encouraging. You just ran a great July 4th promotion where a bunch of people were able to jump in. Just how encouraging is it to see this climb of Mike Norvell on the field, but also the fan support has really jumped in here too?
Well, it has. You see what he's doing on the field, and I always point out, you see even more than the athletes he's bringing in, is the character of kids, character of the student athletes he's getting associated with this program, and they're a joy to be around. They're going to be respectful in the community. They're going to be respectful on campus, and just seeing the impact he's having in the culture of that program is something that we saw 3 years ago. He and I came pretty much the same time, and being able to see the impact and his vision for that program and what he was going to put in place to get to this point, it's been fun to watch and been fun to be side by side with him on it, and having, he and I talk a lot about culture, and it's the same. We have the same mindset of the culture in the department, the culture in the program. Lonnie and I talk often about it, the culture she has in her program, but it's departmental culture, and to see our coaches pulling for each other and sharing ideas, and that's been fun to watch. And you see the student athletes really embracing that culture and supporting each other is just something that's really special right now. And then I think our fans see that, and they see what we're building. They see we have a vision. They see we're putting in processes to get there, and it's a long-term vision, but it's also a vision of sustainability. We're building a culture that's going to sustain success. I talk about it in the classroom. I mean, we have a 3.3 GPA as a department. It's amazing, but that's sustainable success because we're investing in those student athletes. We're investing into facilities for them to compete at the highest level. We're investing in the weight room. I'm really proud of what Jaden and our nutrition staff is doing, and talking to our student athletes and getting feedback, and the investments we've made there to make sure that they're receiving the very best that we can offer, and seeing the results across the board, across all of our student athletes it's just something that I think our fans recognize that. They want to support us. I think we've done it, Stephen and the boosters have done a great job of educating our fan base to make sure they understand we're self-sustainable. We are who we are. What we're able to do is because of them and their support, and we need it. And the ticket sales, as you mentioned, the July 4th promotion went very well. Season ticket sales right now are at the highest levels they've been in many, many years. There's a lot of excitement around the program. So I think there's a lot of buy-in to our vision, and we're going to keep going out and sharing and hopefully produce results, because we want to be good stewards of their support, and results matter, and we're going to continue to push those.
You all put out a good graphic, I think a couple weeks back, that there were 5 programs that enjoyed top 5 finishes,
right,
in that 2022-23 competitive athletic season. One of them was softball that made that great run to OKC to the championship round. What's next for Lonnie? I think every coach has a wish list of what they would like financially, or maybe it's some new premium seating or something for the players, but what might be next for softball?
Well, we're constantly looking at all of our facilities. Last year we invested heavily into that program. We put in the premium seating, which I think is the first. I don't know of any premium seating in collegiate softball, and went in and did that, and great impact. Sold them out in a couple of days, and it's just a great experience out there. Put in the decking going down left field side for our fans that come in that don't have season tickets, and the chair bags. We're going to continue to look at expand that decking a little bit all the way to the fence, and what can we do? We put in the video boards. We put in new playing surface. We made heavily investments into that program last year, and you see the success, but it's also a program that deserves it. When you have success at that level, and what she does culturally, and with some of the student athletes graduate, they're great in the community. They're great representatives of Florida State, just like all of our programs and all of our athletes. You want to invest, and I talk about the student athlete experience all the time. Academics, what are we doing there? Tutors, what are we investing in them so they can have success? We talk about facilities, what are we investing in? Where can we make investments that have an impact on their experience while they're at Florida State? And nutrition, as I mentioned earlier, what are we doing that they have the very best, that they're going to recognize that we care about them and that we're investing in them, and nutrition, and in the classroom, and facilities. And it's a total comprehensive vision that we have, that when a student athlete graduates from here, and I always say they're going to have that degree in the left hand and championship rings on the right, because we're making those investments in them as people. And this is going to be the best 4 to 5 years of their life, of their time in Tallahassee, and that's our goal. Every time when we talk about facilities, we constantly go back to how's this impact the student athlete? Not does it impact the coach, me, but what's the impact on the student athlete? And that's something I constantly, being a former Division I athlete, having 3 daughters, that are D1 athletes. It's what's the impact that they have, that they're making, that's going to shape them for when they graduate to go be successful.
Let's talk about your sport, baseball,
Yeah.
that you played.
Poor Link. Look at the game a little different when you got an AD that played baseball.
He's had a chance, though, to reshape the roster through the transfer portal. He's just hired a pitching coach in Micah Posey, whose dad coaches here locally at North Florida Christian. Just your thoughts on some of the changes and some of the new people who will be a part of the program.
Well, I knew it was going to take time. And I was at dinner last night with someone, and they brought up our baseball program, and they said it's a lot like when Coach Norvell got here 3 years ago. And it to some degree it is. He's got great character kids in the program. You look at Tibbs and Jaime and Cam and Titan. Come on, I mean, just kids that are just great character kids in that program that are a joy to be around, that are doing things the right way. He's got a process and procedures. That's one thing that I really admired about him, and going through that process of one thing in my evaluation that you look in. When I was watching game tapes of Notre Dame play when he was the head coach there, and you see the adjustments he would make during the game, but more importantly, you saw the eye contact and the body language of the players after an at-bat or an infield, and he would coach, take that moment to coach and use it as a coaching moment. But you saw the eye contact, the body language, the respect that they had, and I hear the same thing from our young men who are associated with the program now. They're very excited about the future. They see the changes. They can't wait to get back here and have fall ball and get on with next season. So we're excited about the future. He's doing the right things. He's making the right changes within the program. And once again, we're looking at facility enhancements for him. We know that's a need. We look at our competitors and peers across the country and what they've done. And we really haven't addressed not only the fan experience at Hauser, but some of the player experience as well. And there's some things we need to address in that area to get us back to the competitive nature, to be the very best. Because I always say, by the end of the year, we're Florida State. We expect to be the very best and compete amongst the very best. And we just need to get some facility enhancements that allows him to bring in some of the top quality student athletes in the country.
We've spent a lot of time through the years talking about name, image, and likeness, and we could spend a half hour on that topic alone.
I spent a lot of time in D.C. and on the phone in D.C.
I guess maybe just to narrow it down, it's turned 2 years old of late, and sometimes it's still a toddler. It's still kind of figuring out its way in the world. But where does NIL go next? Where would you like to see maybe some shape, maybe some guardrails to it?
Yeah, well, I co-chaired the NIL committee, and it's funny to go back or to reflect on 2019 before it was even coming about, when we were presenting to the NCAA our recommendations of, and there were guardrails, there was fair market value, there's third-party administrators, all the things they're talking about now. We need guardrails, we need fair market value, we need a third-party administrator. It's 2019 is what we presented, and so it's good that now we've gotten to this point, that we recognize that you can't just let a system go out and be whatever you want to call it, but the wild, wild west of anything goes. It does need guardrails, and we try to educate our young men and women right now. We have people come in and talk to them about taxes, understand what this is about. We have entrepreneurs come in and talk to them about and educate them about how to grow their brand so they can benefit on the NIL. We do everything legally that we can do to educate them on the benefits, how to go about it, and what they need to expect. But we stop there. We can't go into negotiations or anything. I couldn't tell you what deals. I'll see, I think I saw Cam Smith or had a Culver's commercial the other day going, great for him. And that's what it's used for. Right. But we're very active nationally in this field. And that's something that I'm real proud of, that Florida State's being leaders in this, to the impact that Kaylee Mudge had. There's one school they called because of our relationship and working on this bill and talking to our representatives in DC and the NCAA and giving feedback on what we need. There's only one school they called and wanted a student athlete from. That was Florida State, because we have been leaders and we have educated our young men and women on the process of NIL and educated them on how to grow, how to do their taxes, the business aspect of that. And she just did a marvelous job. I can't tell you how many phone calls I got from ADs or people in the industry that had the opportunity to see that, is that nobody could have done it better in DC than Kaylee Mudge, in representing every student athlete in the country, and she does it the right way. And so it's rewarding to see our student athletes, and I'm 100%, as you know, for NIL, but I'm also making sure that we protect them as much as possible.
And some of the money she makes, I think she's setting aside for nursing school.
She is.
Right?
She's using it. Well, you know, the NIL is designated because she's not on a full scholarship.
Right.
Using that money to offset her current financial situation, but also saving to go to grad school. So, you know, that's the benefits of the NIL space, and what she's using it for is what it was intended to be used for.
You know, one of the questions some of the readers have asked is the lack of a level playing field state to state with NIL. Mm-hmm. Has that been maybe minimized now with the amendment to the state law? Is it closer to level?
It's closer. It is definitely closer. Working with Representative LaMarca on the Florida bill, he did a marvelous job in crafting it and getting feedback on it's one thing to sit and say this is what it should look like, but he did a great job of talking to the people who live it day to day and say this is what really is going on, and how do we craft it. But there needs to be a national standard instead of going state to state, and we're working closely with our representatives in DC. And the great thing about where we are and where we sit between Gus Bilirakis, Senator Rubio, Dunn, Constant down in Tampa. I mean, Byron Donalds, very interested in what's going on and how it impacts the leadership out of the state of Florida in DC for this is specifically is very strong and very engaged in it. And talking to other ADs across the country, they don't have the same engagement from their representatives that we do, and we have a lot of them engaged, constantly asking what needs to get done, and then calling us, or at least calling me, and asking what's really going on and how do we fix it. And I can't commend them enough on the leadership role they've taken, and really how much they care for the health, safety, well-being, and what we're doing with our current student athletes in the state of Florida.
Michael, we appreciate you joining us on Osceola Seminole Sidelines. Take care, and thank you. Enjoy the rest of your summer.
Oh, thank you. No summer off. Toe hits leather here real soon in about a month and a half. So we're getting prepared, and I just want to thank everybody for their belief in our vision. We're not done. We got a lot of things we're working on, a lot of exciting things in the future. It's going to make everybody really proud to be a Seminole, and keep supporting our student athletes, because they deserve it. They're working hard, and in the classroom, in the community, and in their sport. And there's not a better group of representatives be more proud of than our students.